Good morning, friends. This is Pastor Jeff with another word of encouragement for today, Thursday, November 12th. The prophet Isaiah writes, "Come, all you who are thirsty, come to the waters. And you who have no money, come, buy and eat. Come buy wine and milk with no money and without cost." Isaiah wrote these words 700 years before Jesus was born. We read in John 7:37 that when Jesus was celebrating the Jewish Feast of Tabernacles, he stood up and shouted with a loud voice, "Anyone who is thirsty, come to me and drink." Now during that Feast of Tabernacles, everyone in Israel would leave their home and live in tents or tabernacles for 7 days, just as they did when they wandered in the wilderness for 40 years. They do this to celebrate God's faithfulness to them, to provide food and water even during those years in the desert. The prophet Zechariah has said that one day all nations will be called to worship the Lord in celebrating the Feast of Tabernacles with Israel. He said that those nations who don't go up to Jerusalem to worship the Lord Almighty will be plagued with no rain. Now it's in the context of this known prophecy that Jesus stood up and said at that very feast, "Anyone who is thirsty, come to me and drink." We know now, and I hope that you've experienced, friend, that Jesus is the true source of living water, and that the Holy Spirit is a spring of life that will never run dry. In the book of Revelation, John writes of seeing a new heaven and a new earth, and that the one who's seated on the throne says to him, "It is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. To the thirsty, I will give water without cost from the spring of the water of life." Friend, I pray today that if you're thirsty in your soul, that you'd open your heart to Jesus and that you'd drink deeply from that spring of life. God bless you, and we'll see you next time.